Good afternoon, everybody. Happy Tuesday. Welcome into another edition of the Right Side of Campus Sports Betting Show. I am your host, the big man on campus. It is December 3rd, 2019, just 22 days away from Christmas. We got a lot going on today. College hoops, college football down the road this week, NFL another week, and we're going to hear breaking it all down for you. Donnie, how you doing?
Doing good, man. Just, fun game to watch last night, and bye weeks are done in the NFL. A massive slate on Sunday with a lot of good games. So, man, good week for sports, man.
Donnie Rightside, who continues to act like NFL is the only thing going on.
It is, man.
Keep in mind there are many other sports going on, but Donnie Rightside seems oblivious to that fact.
Yeah, I mean, if I was commissioner of sports, basketball, you're wasting your time until like January. Same thing with the NBA.
It's interesting that you're the only one that feels that way.
No, the ratings. I mean, you saw the ratings, man. Ratings.
Who cares about ratings? Donnie's always.
But they pick up.
Cares about ratings,
yes, they
Donnie.
do.
Nobody,
like the casual. You make money.
The
casual fan, which I am, until football season is over. You
wow,
get the spotlight. That's why I always say like the highest rated games typically in the NBA are Christmas Day because football's winding down.
None of us are casual fans, though, Donnie. We're all watching the games. We all love.
No, they're not.
No, well, actually, a lot of people, I always see people here talking about, I can't wait to watch this game tonight, or I'm betting Lafayette against.
Oh, sure. No, the hardcore gamblers, of course, are going to watch these games.
But, Donnie, who cares about what casual fans are doing?
Because that's what the ratings are. It's all ratings.
Yeah, but again, my continued point about ratings, who cares? Why do I care about who watches?
You don't. No. See, you're misguided on this because you don't care. But I'm saying like the upper management of the leagues take this into effect and say, why does nobody watch?
Maybe, but that's not going to – it's not like we're going to end the league because no one's watching.
No, nobody's going to end it. No, because the hardcore NBA fan is always going to watch. But me, I'm like, dude, like the NBA's on or an NFL game or it doesn't even make – like I like the Sixers. Sixers my team.
Listen,
but
Donnie,
outside of the Sixers, I don't watch any NBA.
That's fine, Donnie. We get that, but you don't bet on it or watch it. That's
what I'm saying. There's a little niche that we'll watch before football season, and good for them. Have fun with it.
Sure. But then again, it's also like what people do in Brazil. I don't give a fuck. I don't live in Brazil.
No, again,
I don't care what
you shouldn't. I'm just saying the average person doesn't watch, but you're going to watch because you're a sports fan. Yeah.
Yeah. And we're gamblers, and that's what we're doing here.
Correct.
All right. Let's get into the show. We're talking all sorts of stuff today. We got headlines. We got Monday Night Football recap. We got some college football talk. We'll take a look at some of these big time matchups this week in college football. We will know who's in the Final Four, and is there anything Joe Burrow can do to lose the Heisman Trophy? We'll
kill somebody, maybe.
Well, even if he did that, it would still be
he'd still get it too. Yeah, you're right.
Again,
I'm not talking about him dying. I'm talking about.
Well, no. Either way, I don't think that would prevent Joe Burrow from getting the Heisman Trophy. I mean, he's done what he's done.
Oh, they're awesome. They're awesome. LSU is awesome, man.
Yeah. And then we'll get into some college hoops tonight. We got the ACC Big Ten Challenge, Michigan State and Duke. All right, headlines. First things first. Donnie, Georgetown, they're in the news. Georgetown's not in the news a ton anymore. They're not the program they were in the 80s and 90s where they had Patrick Ewing and Alonzo Mourning and Allen Iverson. They're not that same team, sure, but they still are a team that has a fan base that are in that Washington, D.C. area. Mm-hmm. I always thought something was prestigious about Georgetown. I always thought it'd be a cool place to go play basketball, and particularly right now with Patrick Ewing there, it seems like a great place to go. But, Donnie, they're going through some inner turmoil right now. 4 players in all have been removed from this team. 3 are accused of sexual harassment and assault, also burglary as well. Court records were shown basically that a restraining order was filed by fellow Georgetown student against Myron Garner, Josh LeBlanc, and Galen Alexander November 12th. Records show in the complaint, Donnie, sexual harassment and assault by Gardner that took place in the complainant's apartment. According to the records, the defendant said her home was also burglarized by the 3 on September 16th. So basically, these 3 guys robbed this chick. One of them, in her words, sexually harassed and assaulted them. And then, according to her, she began to receive threatening text messages with verbal threats and things of that nature. And the filing also said that 2 roommates had filed multiple police reports, Donnie, with not only the campus police, but DC Metro as well. So these 3 have been kicked off the team. Just a horrific situation for Ewing, who, Donnie, is trying to build a program in Georgetown. He's trying to lift up what program that obviously is obviously fallen by the wayside there in DC and in the grand scheme of college hoops. Also, bad news coming out that James Akinjo, who is one of the best players in this team, is transferring. He is not connected, though, Donnie, to this incident. He is just doing something non-basketball or basketball related, where he doesn't like the growth of where he's going. This is just a complete mess, Donnie, for Georgetown. This now, I would imagine, and I know, knowing about Georgetown, this is going to put them in the bottom of this league. This is a really good Big East. And again, I'm just looking at it from a basketball perspective. Obviously, what's going on with the young girl that was assaulted or whatever, that's terrible. But this is bad news for a team trying to build a program.
No, you look like they were going to turn the corner, and I still do like to give props to the school and Patrick Ewing itself. You're not going to stand for any of this stuff because But the one thing about the recruiting trail, Jeff, is these kids want to be protected. And, you can't go out and robbing people and doing all that stuff. But I got to tell you, if you went to Florida State, you ain't going to hear about any of this anywhere, and it will be covered up. Good on Georgetown for standing up, but I don't know how well this bodes for Patrick Ewing down the line, where he's got to go sit in these kids' homes and be like, look, man, if you mess up, we're going to get rid of you, as opposed to some of these other schools, the big business schools. They will cover it up and let you play until you get out of there. So good on Georgetown as a school, but I don't know how this is going to
Donnie,
reflect in
as
the basketball
usual,
program.
going down these extreme roads where they just don't make any sense. I mean,
no, they did. Look, I tell every kid in the nation, go to Florida State. You
Not
can
anymore.
rape, you can murder, you can do whatever you
10
want,
years ago,
and you
maybe,
can play.
Not now. I don't think now. Listen, here's the thing, though, and you're right on some retrospect here. Obviously, there are programs that are going to look to sweep things under the carpet, but any day, and nowadays, Donnie, it's so difficult to do that. There's so many, there's so much culture and social media that someone's going to find something out. And nowadays, you must act on this kind of thing. But this really hurts, Donnie, a team that has been pretty deep. Georgetown, 46th in the country in bench minutes. 37% of their minutes are made up of bench players. You're now going to basically lose your best guard. You're going to lose 3 key bench pieces as well. This is just a mess for Patrick Ewing. But as you said, this is obviously something I think he needed to do. Let me ask you, Donnie. If you were the Knicks, would you take a look at Ewing as your next head coach?
He's got to do more. I mean, he's been in the league. He was passed over so many times. It's the same. Something's a little bit off, like with Patrick Ewing. Remember Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, assistant for all those years, and nobody would give him a crack. There's reasons why these guys haven't been coaches yet.
Well, here's the thing, and you can bet your bottom dollar. In the next 3 years, Jerry Stackhouse and Patrick Ewing will be NBA head coaches. I mean, they're making that ascent up. He's already and look, as a Patrick Ewing type, you don't just. I mean, this is a good job. I mean, Georgetown's a good job. It's a good area. It's a prestigious university. And look at Juwan Howard. I mean, he did it as an assistant, and he kind of made the move back to a big program as opposed to going up to the league. But yeah, I think this is an interesting thing to keep an eye on. It wouldn't be a bad time, Donnie, to get out of Georgetown if you're Patrick.
But now, if you're an NBA team, you're saying, Jesus Christ, Patrick, you recruited these kids with subpar,
he can't control this.
But that's what I'm saying. That's what the knock will be like. We didn't give you a job before. Well, then you went to Georgetown and melted that program.
I haven't read into the, obviously, I've read kind of the bullet points of the filed order and stuff. But again, what this seems like to me, and again, I don't know, but maybe one of these kids was dating this chick or something. Maybe she decided she didn't want to pursue something. The roommates who, college basketball team, they're all friends. They're all keyed, hanging out together always. Who knows what went on here? I don't think this would affect Ewing's. Ewing's done a great job down in recruiting there. I mean, the Mac McClung grab Mac McClung was one of the most storied, talked about recruits ever, and he went to Georgetown. He's done a nice job there, I think, personally. But we'll see what goes on here as we continue. But this is a tough story for Georgetown. Nice win this year already. Beat Texas last week. They're making an ascent. This is obviously not what you want to have as a head basketball coach. I remember, Donnie, years ago, I watched a documentary on a guy named Rayful Edmonds. He was a high-level drug dealer in Washington. High level. I'm talking about $1 million a month. I mean, this guy
and an old man.
John Thompson, who, Rayful Edmonds. Listen, in Washington, D.C., there's nothing else. At the time, there was no NBA team. Washington went to Georgetown games.
You still had the Bullets, but they stunk. So
right, they were more like, I don't think they were in the city at the time. They were in like the kind of outskirts or whatever.
They played Landover. It was right there. They actually played the same place where Georgetown played their big games in Capitol Center.
Right,
but they stunk.
The time,
they stunk.
Georgetown,
yeah.
Right, Georgetown.
It was like the Miami Hurricanes in the '80s versus the Dolphins, where Miami Hurricanes were the actual draw, not the pro team. You're right.
Georgetown had, they were like Duke at the time.
Marquee.
Yeah, big names.
Big East was unbelievable too. Yeah.
Yeah, big names. You had Mourning and
national titles,
and all those guys. And guys like Rayful Edmonds will go to the games and sit courtside and try to get these kids, hey, come hang out with me. You want to run with me? Da 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 da.
Yep.
And John Thompson basically said, look, I don't give a fuck who you are. Stay the fuck away from these kids.
Yep.
And it was on tape in the indictments that the federal government was surprised that John Thompson basically said, get that guy, bring him into my office.
Mm-hmm.
And they said, John, this guy's a drug dealer. He goes, I don't.
Yeah, you don't really want to threaten this guy. Bring him in here. I'll threaten him right now.
He goes, bring him in here now. I want to talk to him. So Rayful Edmonds thought, oh, this is a great thing. I'm going to go meet John Thompson.
I'm going to get tickets.
John sits down. John sits down with him and says, listen, stay the matter of fact, I don't want to see you at these games again.
Yeah. Stay
the fuck away. And John Thompson, what a great coach. I mean, he was the antithesis of like how he was like a father to those kids. He was
great.
He put a lot of
he
put a lot of those kids into the NBA
and put them in a great because don't forget, like Georgetown isn't some again like Florida State. Georgetown is a wonderful academic institution too.
Sure.
That guy held a lot of clout in DC, man. And again, you're talking about the bigger than like think about those coaches in the Big East, Jeff, that were superstars. He was like the lead dog superstar, man.
I mean, you could actually argue, Donnie, he's credited for, if not for him, Allen Iverson's a nobody.
No, you're right. That's how much clout. Imagine this, Jeff. You're at a prestigious institution. You're going to the governor of the state saying, you get this kid out, I'm bringing him in here. He's getting a scholarship. And what happened? Boom.
And look at the respect.
I love him. I love Thompson.
Look at the respect even Rayful Edmonds had. Mm-hmm. He said, stay away. Rayful Edmonds stayed away.
Yes.
I'm not fucking with them. He's
back in the mid-'80s, Jeff, the satin Georgetown jacket was across the country like it was like a hot Nike item, man.
Sure.
Everybody had it.
Yeah, it's impressive. Like, he was a great coach, man. Yeah. It's a shame it's a shame people get old, as they say.
Exactly. Son took over. Son did some good things there, but some things Georgetown's never going to recreate what they had in the 80s, and it's a shame, but it's what it is, and you just got to remember it.
I'm actually surprised John Thompson III hasn't caught on anywhere.
Yeah.
He hasn't coached since he left Georgetown, which is really interesting to me. I would have thought he would have been picked up pretty quickly. But hey, who knows? Maybe he doesn't want to coach. Donnie, there's a issue in America right now. There is a possible issue, Donnie, with the French fry. Basically not going to be discontinued, but it may be there might be shortages of French fries. There might be a decline in French fries. It might cause more to get French fries. According to farmers in Canada and in this country, there's a real issue with poor potato harvest, having to basically destroy thousands of pounds of potatoes. Wet and cold weather have damaged crops in places like Idaho, Manitoba, Alberta, and prices are likely to rise on a tight supply, according according to people that are in this, obviously farming business. Travis Blackard, Donnie, which is a wild title. He's the industry relations director with the Idaho Potato Committee.
The old clout, man.
French fry demand has been outstanding lately, and supplies can't meet the demand. So basically, growers in Canada estimate that, Donnie, 12,000 Manitoba acres, or 18% of the province's planted area, were left unharvested, equal to what abandoned for all of Canada last season. About 6.5% of Alberta's potatoes are estimated to be frost damaged, and Manitoba is the second largest grower of potatoes, which I never knew. Donnie, let me ask you, do you happen to know who the number one grower of potatoes is in Canada.
In Canada?
Yeah, wildly enough.
Like the name of the company?
No, the territory. Like what territory is it? Ontario.
Let's go. British Columbia out there.
No, Prince Edward Island, which is a very small area.
Okay.
They grow Yes, they grow the most potatoes. So, if you're at a restaurant, Donnie, and they say, "Hey, French fries aren't around a la carte now. You're not getting them free." Because a lot of places you get, like you get them. These fucking fast food places,
burger and fries. Yes.
Yeah, you get all in one. You get the
I can't live without the French fry, man. They got to figure something out here.
Yeah, Donnie, French fries are a good thing, man.
I love French fries.
Let me ask you, French fries are interesting because there's so many different kinds of French fries. You get the waffles, curly.
Yep.
You get the short fries, the fast food kind, and then you get the kind of the bulkier steak fries they give you at like a nice restaurant.
Or a steakhouse,
I'll tell you, Donnie, you know what's really been underrated to me lately?
Go.
Tater tots.
I like tater. Good crisp tater tot?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Come on,
man.
Let
me ask you, Ryan D'Amico, who has had a lot of weird opinions lately.
Oh, gosh.
He told me that, Donnie, he says this is weird, okay? Yeah. Tell me if you think this is a weird meal.
Go.
So I make tacos, right?
Yep.
I don't eat them often. I might eat them every 2 weeks, 3 weeks.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And I eat tacos differently than most. I don't like a lot of toppings on tacos. I throw a little hot sauce in. I got a special sauce, and that's it with a little cheese. But I eat tater tots with tacos. Mm. And Ryan thinks that's the weirdest thing.
It's not the weirdest thing, but I wouldn't do it.
But it's not that weird, right?
Well, why would you have a tater tot on a taco, though?
No, side. It's a side.
Oh, I thought you actually, the people that put the people that say, "Oh, it's good. Put the potato chips in with the sandwich."
Oh, no.
Yeah,
it's like a side dish.
No, I don't mind that.
You don't mind that? Okay. No. Yeah, I'm definitely a French fry guy for sure.
I love French fries, man.
Now, Donnie, let me ask you. A lot of people will belittle people that get French fries with steak, like a steak. I don't know. I don't see it either.
Fries go with everything.
I'm not a big baked potato guy.
I like baked potatoes, but if you told me right now you're going to get this really nice steak and you can have a potato with it or fries, I get the fries every single time because I love French fries.
You know, an underrated meal, and obviously steak's a great meal. I love steak.
Yeah.
Get the steak with the French fries, maybe a little broccoli, some kind of green, and before the meal, a terrific salad of some sort.
You need a salad. If you go to a steakhouse and you're not getting like a nice wedge salad, iceberg, or whatever they have, you're doing it wrong. You need a salad.
And another thing, what's great about a salad too is, like, let's say you get a nice Caesar, like a restaurant.
Yep.
You got to have the bread on like the little paddle thing. It's a cut bread.
Crush the bread, man. Come on, terrific. Man. Yep. Make me want to go to
There used to be this place, Donnie, in Lancaster. They closed it about 10 years ago. It was called Doc Holliday's.
Yeah.
It was like a Western-themed, like, fugitive place, but it was like they had great food, man.
Yeah.
It was one of these it was like a local chain, but it was fucking unbelievable. They used to serve this bread. It was like this – it wasn't beer bread, but it was like this bread they made. It was so, like, with the salad, it was so fucking good.
Yeah, I crush the bread at these places, man.
Donnie, you and I got to get to a steakhouse soon. We got to go to a nice
go down saloon or something like that.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Now you're fucking talking.
Yep.
Yeah, big French fry guy. Good. Who doesn't like French fries? If you don't like French fries, come on,
get
man.
The
fuck out of here.
Oh, fries. I go have a burger. I eat with chips on the side. Come on.
I actually do that occasionally, but
no. But when you have the option, you're going to McDonald's or you're going anywhere. Like, hey, you want a burger and fries? No, give me a burger and chips.
I will say though, when I get burgers, like occasionally here, I do go the chip route sometimes. Like,
not when you have the option of fries.
No, I actually do. Yeah, sometimes.
Oh, man,
I actually sometimes I like to enjoy fries, and some places don't do great fries.
No, you're absolutely right. I'll tell you this right now. The single best, and it's hard to say fast food because it is technically fast food. Five Guys makes the best burger in our area. I'm not talking about like your local pub or somebody who makes something special. I'm talking like a fast food type restaurant.
Never had
Five Guys fries, Jeff, the worst. And I laugh all the time. Like, I go and get a burger there. And I really want to tell them, like, look, if you guys made a half decent fry, this place would be like #1 in the country. But the fries, like the homegrown, home cut. No, dude. If they had like McDonald's or Burger King fries at Five Guys, I would never go anywhere else. But the reason I don't go there sometimes is because their fries are horrendous.
Now, Donnie, I actually learned this from my grandpa. God rest his soul. Every Saturday, Donnie, when I was a kid, I'd go to my grandpa's and grandma's. We'd watch football, him and I. He loved Penn State. He was a Penn State addict when we were younger. And I remember, what we would do? My grandma and grandpa lived on a street that our church, Catholic church, was literally a stone's throw away. So we'd walk to church and come to their house. And I remember my grandmother would go to 5 o'clock mass on Saturday. And I used to try to get out of it by watching football, and I'd act like I'm sick or something. So I didn't have to go to mass. And I remember when she would come home, my grandpa and I would go to this cheesesteak spot. We get steaks, but my grandfather loved McDonald's fries. Even though this place had fries, my grandpa would get the steaks at one place, and then we'd go to McDonald's and get the fries. And to this day, I do that. I occasionally, Donnie, will order from 2 different places. I'll get like a burger here, and I'll get like some lame-ass meal somewhere else, but I want the fries.
Correct.
And then I just add it together.
Yes.
So you've done that. That's not weird.
Absolutely. It's not weird to do stuff like that. Like I go all the time. Like I'll go like just say Taco Bell, and I will go to McDonald's to get a side of fries. Or I'll go to like I think Wendy's fries are very overrated. Literally go right down the street and get fries from McDonald's. And
I'll forever to say this, and I mean it. I have not eaten fast food in a long time. I just don't eat it. I'm not a big fan of the grease and the way it tastes. But I do like like you said, like a pub burger, nice hearty hamburger. Cheese. Yep. I've mentioned I'm not a big cheese guy. I usually get a hamburger. I don't get cheese on it.
I gotta have cheese. I love cheese.
I'm also big on plain burgers. I don't like anything on them.
I like lettuce, tomato. Lettuce, tomato, onion is always my staple on just about everything.
Yeah, I'm not an onion guy, really.
Oh, God damn it, man. I'm going to be eating good.
I mean, I'm an onion guy, but it's got to be like limited onion. Like I just want to taste. Like
you got to get the nice red onion on there, not like a ton. Like you just get the one like ring or two on.
Like
there,
chop the onion up.
Yep.
I just want a taste of the onion, like mixed in with the steak.
Yep, there you go.
But fascinating conversation. Here.
All
right, next story, Donnie. Nick Foles, who is loved in this town. Okay, and Donnie, how long until we start hearing it? Okay. Yeah. Nick Foles, he was benched yesterday. Okay, he's benched and his job was taken from him.
Yeah,
this is a guy that's making a big money.
4 years, $88 million, Jeff.
Right, and you've decided that nope, we're going to stick with the 6th-round quarterback, Gardner Minshew. I thought this was a bit fast. Obviously, Doug Marrone trying to save his job any way he can. Now, Donnie, let me ask you: buy or sell? Nick Foles is a Philadelphia Eagle to start the next season.
The sense would make the most of it. We said, Carson Wentz probably won't allow it, but if you're the Jacksonville Jaguars,
allow it.
Yeah, I'm telling you, behind the scenes, that would never be allowed because where that would get to you. Unless he throws for 375 every week, there's always going to be people saying Nick Foles is a better quarterback. But from a Jacksonville perspective, on detonating your salary cap, if you cut him, it's like $26 million dead next year, and like an additional like $5. Then I don't know how you can do it next year. I don't know if it's even possible.
Donnie, you know what I feel bad about for Nick Foles?
Yeah.
Can this guy get a home with a good coach?
He don't need it dude. He lives the life of Riley, man.
You know where I would go if I were him?
Where?
I would actually. I'm praying you do this. Please do this.
Go.
That little team in Indy. You've got a great coach who loves a quarterback.
Yeah, who would fit in there too?
Go to Indy.
Donnie, who did he win by the way, who did Nick Foles win a Super Bowl with as his coordinator? I forget.
Right. Hello. Listen, Donnie, I love the Colts already, okay? I'm like an honorary Colts and Raven fan, okay? Make Nick Foles the Colts happen. I promise you.
You'll go out to a game, and you'll go out to a game.
And I will RCA Dome or whatever the hell it's called. Yeah, I'd love to. Lucas Oil. Love to. Yep. Love. By the way, Lucas Oil, Donnie, what is that? That must be a huge business.
Oh, yeah, big oil.
Must be a huge oil company. My God. Indy'd be perfect for him. Perfect.
He could go in. Like, can you imagine? Like, and again, somebody's like Chicago. It's funny that no matter anybody comes out Chicago, he would put them in the playoffs now, Jeff.
But nobody wants to go to Chicago. No one wants to play.
But I don't know. Could he put in a field? Like, was he with Kansas City back when Nagy was there?
I'm not sure.
Nagy's part of that whole thing, that whole tree of Andy Reid and Nick Foles.
Yeah, if I'm Indy, I'm going after Nick Foles. That'd be a perfect marriage. Perfect.
Look, well, yeah, I think it could both work out. Like, if you're talking about salary cap issues, wouldn't you just trade straight up Jacoby Brissett for Nick Foles? I think it'd be a win-win, wouldn't it?
Yeah, look, Brissett's a nice kid.
Well, that's what I'm saying. You got to get something because
not.
they're not just going to take that salary on. Do you know what I mean? Like, I don't think that Jacksonville can actually afford to just cut Nick Foles when he would be a good starter on a couple of these football teams. I don't think it can happen.
Another team I'd take a shot with?
Who?
Oakland.
Yeah, I think they're going to get rid of Carr. John Gruden. It's funny, too, because that offense started out hot and heavy. Now they stink. Gruden just gets tired of quarterbacks. You could probably see it.
They got to hire somebody. They got to bring somebody in. He's not dependable, yeah. Derek Carr. I mean, no. All right, one more story, Donnie. Donovan Mitchell, who is becoming he's becoming one of the more hateable people in Philadelphia. A lot of people hate Donovan Mitchell.
From what? Give him the background. Go ahead.
Well, after his little stunt last year with just being so salty that Ben Simmons got rookie of the year, and he's just a narc piece of shit. That's all he is. Listen to what he did. Did you hear what he did last night?
No, that's why I didn't look it up.
51 seconds to go in the game.
Okay.
Sixers up 9, going to the free throw line. One of the fans in the front on the court side.
Yep.
I guess all game. Now, this is directly from the fan, Donnie. Okay. Mm-hmm. This is someone on Reddit got the fan, and the fan gave this account of what happened.
Yes.
Okay. Keep in mind, the fan was thrown out of the game with 51 seconds left.
Okay.
Let me read what he wrote. This is a direct quote from Reddit by the fan that was kicked out. Twitter taking forever to load. All right, here we go. I was the guy that got ejected. As it was posted already, Donovan Mitchell was chirping at us the entire game while getting blown out, smugly saying things like how we all came to watch him and, quote, have fun at your 9 to 5 tomorrow. I responded to another comment on this during a break in play-by-play, calling him a punk, which led to someone aggressively approaching me. I then reminded him that Ben Simmons was his daddy.
Yeah.
He immediately told the ref to have me ejected, and I got ejected. I didn't say a word to Ingles or anyone and left. I also got into some hot water with the game after the game with security. Also, to clarify, these were not my seats or anyone I knew. I saw people below me pack up during the blowout, and I walked down mid-fourth quarter where they left with the permission of the neighbors. Not exactly appropriate, but I didn't care at the time. Furthermore, I was not drunk, despite having a Bud Light in my hand, but it's funny how the Philly fan narrative is. Either way, I don't care about that. All the clueless speculation is pretty hilarious. However, I'm regretfully not rich, and I wasn't being much of a prick, aside from typical fan garbage. Lastly, I didn't say anything remotely derogatory to any of the players or Donovan Mitchell. Or actually, he says Donovan Simmons, which he basically calls Simmons a son.
He sunned them.
Yeah, and that Donovan is a huge crybaby. Go Sixers. Yeah. So there you go. Donovan Mitchell is a fucking narc piece of shit. They can't take a little ribbing from a fan, so he whines all game to the fan and makes fun of him, and then goes to the authorities. This is a typical bitch boy move. This is what people on the internet do, Donnie. They have no problem writing checks, but sometimes that check needs to be cashed. And you know what? Generally, they have no interest in it. This is the guy that always fights everybody in the club where there's security around and it can't get too far. These are not the type of people, Donnie, that will just walk up to you on the street and say, hey, what's up? You talk shit? I'm going to cut you in the fucking neck. They don't do that kind of thing. They are bitch made, and people like Donovan Mitchell need to go the fuck away. He's lost a lot of respect, in my opinion. And I wouldn't give a fuck if this happened in Philadelphia, New Orleans, or Utah. This is a pussy move. And this is why these players, shut the fuck up during the game. What's that? What are those kind of comments? Oh, you go to your 9 to 5. Shut up, dude. Play the game. We didn't come to see you. We came to see our 9-0, 10-0 home Sixers. Yep. What the hell is he talking about? You came to see me? Fuck you. We don't give a fuck about you. We care about Joel Embiid and Ben Simmons and Mike Scott and those guys. We don't give a fuck about you and your boring ass Jazz. Who the fuck is he?
Yeah, no, that's kind of funny. And you've got the best part about it is A lot of the fans went there, obviously, to see the Sixers or, hey, Utah's a decent team. I'm pretty sure nobody in the Philadelphia area went to see him actually play. And since the way he was talking, Jeff, and the way he treated, like, oh, man, I'll circle my calendar going to Philadelphia. They're going to be so crazy to see me. And nobody actually gave a shit about him at all. That's probably what he was most upset with in the fourth quarter. Like, I'm trying to stir it up out here and talk smack to everybody. People are like, who is this guy anyway?
Listen, man, as long as you don't say anything racist or something like that, you should be able to say whatever you want. You paid, do what you got to do.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is a bitch move. Total bitch move.
Nobody cares about that guy here. Come on.
Rivalry. Salty ass bitch. All right, let's move on here. Last night, Monday Night Football. Couple observations, Donnie.
Yes.
First of all, Kirk Cousins, this is Kirk Cousins. I mean, and this is really where you, me, anyone who has any interest in the Vikings, this is where it stops, I feel like. Because what Kirk Cousins does, Donnie, is he shows you flashes. He shows you that he can be serviceable. And then he goes and does stuff like, not win games on Monday Night Football ever. Or, that offense, Donnie, I said to you last night, what a brutal offense. I mean, just dink and dunk crap. They didn't have Dalvin Cook. I mean, Thielen seems like he'll never be healthy. And that run defense was a disaster. I mean, they were a disaster last night.
I got to it's a fascinating game when you look at it, Jeff, because when we watch, like I think we're under the same wavelength with Seattle. Like I think they play by different rules and say, oh, they own the NFL. You watch the very first drive of the game. Chris Carson gets knocked the fuck out at the 50. Fucking guy can't even stand up. He's dazed and confused. And I tweet out, that is going to be a massive injury. And only in Seattle, Jeff, does the guy appear back after getting knocked the fuck out on the football field to play the rest of the game and rush for 100 yards. And then, forget about the whole Pete Carroll and working the referees. But you're right about like the luck box, because actually the Vikings got the first luck box with that ridiculous batted touchdown. And you go to the half up 17-10. I'm like, the Vikings are going to win this football game. And of course, Dalvin Cook comes out in the second half and fumbles and gets hurt. Their best player doesn't play the rest of the way. And you know what would have been nice on that last drive, Jeff, on 3rd and 4 and 4th and 4? To have Adam Thielen. He would have been wide open on one of those plays. Or how about this? A dump pass to Dalvin Cook in the flat on 3rd and 3 or 4th and 4. They just didn't get right, but that's the luck box, and that's what Seattle. I mean, there's no longer luck with Seattle. They just
Seattle just runs better than everyone else. Like right. Every week, everything goes their way. Everything.
Best players out, fumbles.
Always. Yeah. And even when they play badly, they're playing such a bad team, it doesn't matter.
Yes.
Correct. They're the biggest luck box team in the history of sports. Like they get every call. Every fake punt works. Mm-hmm. They get missed extra point. It's always something with them. Always. Like literally, look at the receivers they've had over the years.
Yep.
Like they're the most luck box team ever. Like, and anyone that gambles like hardcore and like is in this shit, we all see it.
That's why I had the first half, because the second half, Russell Wilson, it's just, I don't know. They just turn something on and just interceptions that are pass interference. Nobody gets a challenge, but you challenge it the other way. And it's crazy how it adds up.
I'm getting to the point with Seattle where I have a few teams that Wyoming is on my no bet list. I don't bet Wyoming or on them, against them or any at all. Seattle's getting to that point with me. Like I'm like done with them. It's impossible to beat them. Like
they're the toughest to me. And me and you talk all Russell Wilson makes amazing plays and they catch amazing and get a lot of calls. One of the toughest bets in football to make is against Russell Wilson because some things don't matter. Some things just don't matter.
I bet on them actually bet on them twice against them or on them twice this year. Yeah. And I actually got done. Yeah, I got the Eagles game. And then I took the Ravens against. Remember earlier this season?
Yep. Yeah, me too. I was on it. Yep. Loved it.
But even last night, Donnie, right? Mm-hmm. So you just all your important players are out against the Eagles, which didn't matter.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, Clowney's back last night. Everyone who was sick all week mysteriously got healthy.
Yep.
They have a 4-string center in. He was like I don't know, Orlando Pace.
Yep. The key to your, Penny's been having a decent year, but the key to your running game on the very first drive gets knocked out. The first drive of the game, wow, what an impact. Hey, he went in the tent. And even like you ever follow the guy on Twitter who's like the Twitter doctor that used to be like the Chargers team doctor.
Chow, yeah.
And even he comes in and was like, there's pretty clear head trauma there to keep him out.
But he's somehow good to go.
Good to go, right back into the game. And he gets
By the way,
head
Chow
slammed in the
sells
first half.
picks. Do you know that?
No, he doesn't sell picks. He sells an injury report. Crazy,
on,
man. You can make money anyway in this business, can't you?
That's Krakenberger's boy.
That's true. Yeah.
No surprise there, right?
Do you think they collaborate on stuff?
Bill doesn't have to pay for injury and info.
Yeah, he just gets
those are his sources. Yeah, but again, I found it funny last night too, Donnie, because Twitter is so. I mean, there's always Twitter's where amazing happens.
It is. Like, that's why it's great.
It's like the NBA. That's their catchphrase, but like Twitter really is where it's like if where you always think someone's not that stupid, then someone is that stupid. Like Donnie, for instance, this morning, okay, there's a college basketball Twitter account called 3-Man Weave.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, they're very good. They know a lot about college basketball. I love them. Those guys, they're really interesting. They put out picks every day. Okay,
yeah. Mm-hmm.
So occasionally they'll have fun with the people, and they'll put out like the mascots of a team, right? So they'll say like governors.
Yeah,
you would know that with Austin P.
Sure.
Or like they don't do it a lot. Occasionally. Mm-hmm. So yesterday they put out a incarnate word as one of their picks.
Yes.
So instead of putting incarnate word, they just put word of incarnate.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think someone commented on it and said?
That's not even the right name of the school.
No. Oh. What team is word of incarnate?
Oh.
I don't know. A fucking baseball team. Like,
yeah.
Are people that fucking dense? Last night I put Seattle runs better than anyone. And some guy goes, well, I don't know. The Ravens are better at running the football.
Yeah, they're just reading the context without actually thinking about what the guy actually is talking about during a football game, right?
Right.
Yeah. And by the way,
it's a poker term. It's like a gambling term. Running well means like
you're getting all the breaks.
Yeah.
You're showing a 6, the dealer's showing an ace. You end up with 21, and he ends up with all 17.
Yeah. Like, damn, that dude runs well. It doesn't literally mean they run better than another team. Like,
that's great.
Twitter's great, man. It really is. Because I'm the bit, Donnie, remember in State Property 2? This is a weird reference, but remember in State Property 2, that character, Biggest or whatever his name was?
Mm-hmm.
He hated when people asked him shit twice. Do you remember that guy?
No.
Yeah, there was like a character, let's say he would say, like, go get the car. And you would say, what? And he'd go, what the fuck I just say? Like, I hate having to repeat myself to people. Like, let's say I put out a Premier League blog.
Yes.
Hey, do you like Arsenal?
Yeah.
Read the fucking blog, dude.
Yeah.
You got to admit, stupidity's rough, right?
No. And how about this, Jeff, which we haven't used in the headlines for Seattle? Is there anybody cornier out there, man?
Oh, no.
Jeff, and you know what the interesting part is? Because he knows he's mic'd up, and he's always been corny in everything he's done. But do you notice what you notice when he's mic'd up and he's going around to all his teammates and they're scoring touchdowns? Nobody's engaging Russell Wilson. Like he's going up to them and they don't even give a shit. Like they have a whole special dance in the end zone, which is like, hey, Ross, dude, get in this dance with us. And he runs in, and obviously they didn't include him in the choreograph. And he's like, yeah, this. And like nobody pays attention to him. By the way, before you get this in, you remember a couple of years ago, I used to laugh at this. The Richard Shermans, the whole Legion of Boom secondary couldn't stand Russell Wilson. I used to laugh like, damn, because they also used to say, like, he's not down enough for us. And I'm like, man, the guy's such a good leader and he's such a great player. It's a pretty apparent to see, like, can you see, like, him coming into the facility and people like, this motherfucker over here? Crazy.
Listen, I'm going to continue to say this. Man. He is, like, he just tries too hard. Like, he reminds you of your boy J.J. Watt. Like, you ever notice
he's on that. Yeah,
yep. Like every time he goes to the hospitals, there's always a camera there.
But even like the corny, like forget, like he's so corny on the field, but even his shit off the field, like with Sierra, he'll write poems and be like, you know what? This is so special. We're going to give up sex for like 2 years because of our love for each other. He is the corniest dude on the planet, man.
This is how I feel about Stephen Curry. Like I feel the same way about him. Like they're just lame. Like they're not, like they try too hard. Like, just like play, dude. Like we don't need your like and then like motivational quotes all the time. I believe in you guys. Come on. It's like,
go Hawks, and everything's always peachy and doing this and loving this and that, but it's apparent. Like you can hate Tom Brady all you want. He's a genuine football player in the field. He's angry at officials. He's angry at his own team. He's angry at his coach. He's angry at himself. But you know what? The engagement back and forth between the players where they talk and listen. And I look at this, I'm like, can you imagine somebody in your ear every day? Hey, guys, clear heart, clear eye, clear mind. Dude, shut the fuck up. I'm ready to play this game, man.
Yeah, it's pretty evident they don't really like the guy.
No, it's unbelievable.
He's like the friend that like hangs out with you, and you're kind of like, oh fuck, man, this guy just never shuts up. Get him away.
And he is worth his weight in gold on the football field, and so corny at the same time. It's great.
Yeah, I totally agree. All right, let's switch gears here. College football, Donnie. Next week, we're gonna have some Final Four. Who's in your Final Four? Like after this week, who do you think it's gonna be? It's got to be LSU, Clemson, Ohio State. They're pretty much in. Is there anything they do to not get in?
If Ohio State loses, they're in. Out. If LSU loses, they're in. If Clemson loses,
they're out, right?
They're probably out. Yes.
Yeah.
Even though I think they're
not going to lose.
They're not going to lose. You're right, and I don't want them to lose. But I have to say that I can't.
Donnie, you've got to admit you've been carrying the water for Clemson.
I think Clemson's the best team in the country. I do.
Okay, fine, but you've got to admit, Donnie, that conference is laughable.
No, it is laughable, but they've won they've won by average of 35, which is
but that's just so disgraceful that in a conference title game, the 28.5.
That's every year in the ACC.
What
and it's ridiculous. And by the way, these 8 I'm going to watch Georgia LSU because I love the pageantry, I love the atmosphere. It's in Atlanta. It's going to be raucous, and it means a lot. Look at these other Oregon and Utah on a Friday night and is that going to be you're talking about Oregon and not even a California team. It'll be half full, boring as shit. These teams that play but it should be home. Utah should be home in a raucous atmosphere.
Agreed.
Why are you going on
that's why I like the
mini bowl game where nobody's going to this?
Yeah, the AAC does that.
Yes. Why do they do it? And the same thing, Jeff, with the ACC. You're going to Charlotte, and the game has half full every single year. Have it on Clemson's campus. What are we doing?
What we need to do is reclassify. Clemson needs to go to the SEC.
I would love Clemson the SEC. Yes, and send Vanderbilt back to the ACC or something. Yeah,
and make that like a non-power 5.
Correct.
And let Virginia and Vanderbilt fight it out every year. But as far as Donnie, who I've said before, I like Utah a lot. I think this team could make some waves if they were to get to the Final Four. I think defensively they're really good, and I love their coach and quarterback and running back. If they have to, what do they have to do to get it done? You think they have to win considerably by 20 plus? I would think.
And here's another unfair advantage. This is and I said the tweet out yesterday was like going to overtime in college football. If you win the toss, you defer because why? You want to see what the other team does. If Oregon goes out and beats Utah, you get a deep breath for Oklahoma. If Utah goes out and beats Oregon by 2 touchdowns, that's going to change your betting philosophy on what you need to do.
But the thing is, it really doesn't matter because if Georgia beats LSU, it's all moot point.
You're right about it. No, you're right. But I don't know if that's. I am so
okay.
Georgia now coming in. DeAndre Swift, is he going to play? If he doesn't play, I'm not too sure they can win that game.
Let's say this.
You're right.
Okay, let's say LSU, Clemson, and Ohio State are in. They're 3.
Yep.
Let's say LSU beats Georgia, so they're in.
Yes.
So let's say Oklahoma beats Baylor.
Yep.
And let's say Utah beats Oregon.
Yeah.
And let's say they both win by 10.
Whew, man.
Who you putting in? It's got to be Oklahoma, right? Because they have the more name recognition. That
I would I see what you're saying, and I'm on the same wavelength. Who do I want in if they both win? Who I think would give a better playoff?
Utah.
I want Oklahoma in actually.
Well, here's why I don't think Oklahoma will have any issue getting in if that's what happens. Look at recency bias. The Pac-12 has been shit in these games and all that kind of thing. I just think – plus, you look at the resumes. USC beat Utah, which that's not a bad loss. I look at Kansas State, though, beating Oklahoma. That's rough. That's a bad loss, dude.
Yeah, but you're right. A lot more goes into it in that meeting. They'll tell you all these things and their points, but when it comes down to it, more people are going to watch Oklahoma than Utah, and they know that.
Let me ask you, though. Let's say that's a exact situation. Let's say Utah wins 31-13.
Yep.
And Oklahoma wins 31-30.
Yes.
Is Utah getting in over Oklahoma?
They should get in. You should.
I agree.
It's that, Jeff. It's that close. Like these,
Yeah.
and I'm glad. Like one spread is 8.5, one spread 6.5. I'm literally looking at this if I'm a committee member. And again, it all matters. Like LSU,
who covers?
Who wins by more? If I have a game that's 21-10 and I have a game that's 21-9, I'm actually going to go with the team that won 21-9. That's how close it is.
Yeah, I don't think there's a lot of room for error, and that's why for me, Donnie, I'm both these games are tough. Oregon's a good team.
Yeah.
I mean, at the end of the day, they have a good team with a capable quarterback. I would be real surprised if Baylor beats Oklahoma. I think they can hang around and stay within, 10, but it's fascinating. It really is fascinating.
And also that Big 12 title game, is that down in Jerry World?
Yeah, it is.
AT&T. So, I mean, that automatically benefits Oklahoma. Like, if you're Baylor, wouldn't you want that game back?
Baylor's 80 miles away, dude.
No. I'm not saying the game. I'm saying, like, temperature-wise. You remember they used to have the Big 12 title game in Kansas City and sometimes be, like, 22 degrees out? Because Oklahoma is high-flying on offense. They're going to be in a dome. I don't know about Baylor winning this game then. I think Baylor would be better if there were elements in this football game.
Now, Donnie, let me ask you this.
Yeah.
Let's say Utah beats Oregon. 31-24. I don't know. And Baylor beats Oklahoma as a 8.5-point dog or 9 point, whatever.
Yeah.
Does Baylor get into the title? So what if it's Baylor? Like Baylor beats Oklahoma and Utah beats Oregon?
No, you're right. But again, if Baylor wins and does that, Baylor's going to go, which is crazy. They should go, right?
I, for whatever reason, thought Baylor was kind of eliminated. Crazy enough, but
not real. I mean, you never know if they isolate them, Baylor wins 34-20 or buffs them up. That opens up a whole new door.
What if Baylor wins 35-10 or something?
That's what I mean. Don't you remember Ohio State? No way Ohio State can get in. They're going to have to beat Wisconsin by like 50. What did they do? They beat them by like 50.
All right, Donnie, brass tacks, answer the question. Yeah. Let's say Baylor win 35-10 and Utah win 35-10. Who's getting in?
Utah's getting in.
Over Baylor?
Yeah, I think they are. Yeah.
I don't know. I just don't think – I like Utah. I hope they do get in.
Utah actually didn't screw themselves. Oregon screwed Utah by getting beat by Arizona State. That killed everything for them.
Yeah, that's rough. Well, and Utah lost to USC. That sucked. If you didn't lose to USC, you'd be in.
Yeah, you would be in. That's right. That's win the game. That's like Clemson. Like you can get all mad you want a Clemson schedule, but their out card is what? They didn't lose. You know what I mean? If they lose, then it's like, yeah, you're out. You're done. That's what you get.
Now, Donnie, was there any team that you would rather see than Oregon, Utah, Oklahoma, and Baylor? Is there any other team you think would give a good game to these?
My dream. I wanted to have the two SEC. That's why I was rooting for Alabama, not because I like Alabama, but I just want to see two SEC teams. I would love if Georgia upsets LSU. I would love that because that 14 playoff would be so much fun with all four of those teams healthy, and that's what I'm rooting for. The only team I'm rooting for this weekend, Jeff, is Georgia.
Yeah, I'm good. I want to see like a new blood.
I don't want the Pac-12 shows up and we see it every Washington not getting a lot of respect, and they get on the field with the SEC team, they get boat raced. You know it's happening. That's why I'd rather have Oklahoma.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind Oklahoma or Utah, so I'm good either way. I actually have done an Oklahoma ticket. I bet it at Tropicana in August.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping they can find the win because right now. Donnie, I was trying to sell the ticket at 15-1. I was trying to get rid of it, but it's like they're 40-1 to win the title. So it's like if they can get in, I'm going to get rid of it. But it'll be interesting. Donnie, what does Joe Burrow have to do to lose the Heisman? Is there any way
go rob somebody somewhere or something?
What if he throws 5 interceptions?
Team for one in a prostitution ring for even you know what I mean? He could throw 13 interceptions and LSU can get killed, and he's that far ahead of them. Who's next? Who's even in the conversation?
I mean, Donnie, all due respect, what crime would he have to commit to not win? If let's say he stole something. I don't think.
No, he wins it easy. No, he has to go away for murder, where he literally can't show up to the actual. He's not allowed to. You have to go accept the Heisman. He can't even go there. That's the only way he can't win.
I honestly think even if that happened, he would still get it. He had a good season.
Actually, it's fun. Because they vote right away. So if he does commit the murder, on next Tuesday, he probably would still be the Heisman. Yeah.
So wait, have they voted already?
No, I think they vote after the last. Oh, wait a second. I
think it's December.
I think they're already in. No, I think the vote. Hold on. I got to say they're in already, right? They have to be.
Yeah, when did they crown the Heisman Trophy?
December, like in like 2 weeks. But I think the Heisman vote 2019. Let's see.
No, they haven't picked it yet. I think they pick it after this week. It's before the Army.
Heisman voting deadline is what? Let me see. I got to go to the Heisman home.
It's next week. They pick. They have to do one more game.
December 2nd, Heisman ballots distributed, so they're out. Oh, the voting deadline's the 9th, so you're correct.
Yeah, they got one more game.
Yep.
So yeah, it's basically his. I know he's like minus 1,500 to win. So
dude, they're so good. He's so good in that offense, and that offense they're fun, man. I actually one of the videos I had the over in that game. Like, oh man, like LSU or Texas A&M's going to score a little bit. LSU just beat them into the freaking ground, man.
It kind of sucks too, because Donnie, I wanted to sell my Burrow ticket.
Yeah,
like I'll take 24-1 right now. Like I just want to get paid now instead of waiting.
Yeah.
But I can't sell the ticket on PropSwap because it's an online ticket.
Yeah.
And you have to be above a certain amount of stars to sell online tickets. So I gotta wait. Kind of sucks.
No, it's an automatic win though.
Yeah, but I want to get paid now. I wait till December 9th. I know he's gonna win. So who wins the national title to you?
The national title. I have Clemson winning it.
Really?
Yeah.
Do you think they're gonna beat LSU or Ohio State?
I think Clemson has the best coach. I think they're the best quarterback and the best running back. I do.
I'm going to go LSU. I think, but then again, it's going to be a great tournament.
It's great. That's what I'm saying. Like, if you could get like the four, we're getting mad at the 4th seed, but the only reason why I'm getting mad at the 4th seed is because I would love to see 2 heavy games.
I'll be real with you. I don't want Georgia in. Give me Oklahoma. I'd be good with it. I'd be really happy because at least you're going to get fun, exciting offense. And Georgia doesn't do shit for me, man. Like they're boring as fuck to me.
Yeah, but I like to see like a matchup like LSU, like Georgia again. Because
I'm telling you, give me Utah, bro. Utah would be fun.
I don't think Utah would be
They're
fun.
They're going to come and bring it.
You had it right. Oklahoma would be fun because they will go nuclear on offense to try to keep up, and that's fun. That's fun for gamblers.
I say we show some appreciation to the troops. Let's bring Navy. Let's put them in.
I would love Navy. You
Malcolm
put Navy in the
Perry, baby.
Just throw it off. Yeah, you got to get prepared. But then again, the element of surprise would be gone because you get a couple weeks to prepare for their offense. So that's
Donnie, what if they did this? What if they did this in the college football where it was a mystery team until 2 days before? There were 2 mystery teams.
No, like you actually had the top 3 teams in, and then you just had like a drawing where they just spun the thing around with ball, and came
all
out
3 teams are ready to stay at that hotel the next day to play.
Yeah.
And there was like a mystery team, and it was announced like 3 hours beforehand the day of the game who you're playing. Yep. So the three finalists are like Navy, I don't know, San Diego State, and UCF or something.
Yeah, yep.
That would be interesting.
Yeah. By the way, Jeff, saw an article today on James Franklin for Penn State about why they should extend him at Penn State. And you know what's interesting about that too? I'm reading it. I'm going, Penn State, you're right. Like, what are the aspirations for Penn State? Penn State's never, ever, ever, ever going to win another national championship. Shouldn't you just be happy with James Franklin, though?
You don't think that?
No, they're never going to.
I think they've been close. They've been really close.
It's just not a big enough, like,
couple of years.
They got a great fan base, but you're never going to outreach, like, the Ohio. You're never going to overturn Ohio State as the football champion in that conference.
The thing is, though, there is always – I mean, they have the chance, luckily. They're not like UCF where they don't even have a shot. They'll always have a shot. I think they've been, as far as like a top 10 team in the country over the last 10 years, Penn State's been a damn good team.
That's my point saying, like, they should, like James Franklin, they should open up that blank check and just be like, dude, please stay here as long as you can, because if we can get 10 wins and a New Year's Day bowl, that's the ceiling for Penn State. Like, you're going to move on from James Franklin, or if he leaves and goes to Florida State, like, who's coming in? Joe Moorhead? I mean, what are we doing?
All right, TJ is back, Donnie. This guy was in here yesterday. He was confused as to what was going on. Listen, TJ, this is a free show. We do this every day. It's just a show where we talk about sports and get picks out. This is not part of any content. We're good. All right. Okay, Donnie. Let's get into college hoops. Before we do that, I do want to tell all of you about Bet Online. Bet Online is, Donnie, to me, one of the premier offshore books in the business. In fact, it probably is the most premier book in the business. It's been around since 2004. One of the most dependable offshore businesses in the betting community. You could start winning today with a welcome bonus. Make sure you read rollover requirements. But BetOnline has so many things that can help a sports better. Anything from being able to bet early. I mean, betting early is key. You can bet on NFL as early as Sunday night the week before. They've got good limits. A lot of risk-free bet opportunities with free money that you can grab. Bitcoin withdrawals and deposits. You can refer friends and get paid. They pay you quickly. And, Donnie, I saw on Twitter, I mean, Dave Mason really goes through leaps and bounds to help people with little issues, small issues, whatever. It doesn't matter. BetOnline has you covered. Go check them out now. Check out the description in the video right here. Click on the link and go get yourself an account. If you're looking to add a book or really just start over or go with something different, BetOnline has you covered. Go check them out. Donnie, we are currently looking at BetOnline, and we have a game tonight between Michigan State and Duke. This game is part of the Big Ten ACC Challenge. Do you like these?
I do. Kind of I actually like that. Like, I don't care about the lower levels, but the Big Ten ACC Challenge is cool because you get some early season big games. I do like it.
Keep in mind, we are back to basically regular schedules here. These games are in home road locations. Donnie, this game is 797, 798. What do you have on the line at BetOnline?
Yeah, how about this, Jeff? Looking online, offshore, about 75% of the tickets lining up on Duke. But how about this, Jeff? We open up at 5s, and then again, BetOnline -6.5 now, 145.5.
Yeah, this is a sharp play tonight on Michigan State. I actually agree with it as well. I just look at this game, Donnie, right now, and I think Duke has some real question marks. I think, you look at games like this, and Donnie, this was one of the reasons I took Kansas the other day against Dayton. A lot of people were on Dayton in that game. A lot of people love Dayton because of the recency bias. But I look at Kansas, Donnie, you know what I see? Dependability, experience, hard-nosed players that aren't going to crack under pressure. Duke has a lot of kids, Donnie, that to me will crack under pressure. Cassius Winston, I think, is going to hand Trey Jones lunch tonight. I just like the experience I'm going to get from Michigan State. I like the tenacity they're going to give defensively. I think both teams have some question marks. I think they have to get figured out. But doesn't this seem like a game, Donnie, where this is 77-70 late and Michigan State just kind of pulls away with some free throws and ends up winning by 11 or something? I think the whole world's going to grab Duke here. They can't. They'll bounce back. It was Stephen F. Austin.
Duke getting 6.5. Oh, my God.
Yeah. Which is interesting. You said it right, Donnie. In college basketball, we talked about this last year. Sometimes when you have these high-profile market games where it looks too good to be true, it generally is. You know how in conference play, Donnie, they'll have let's say a Big 12 game.
Yeah.
And it's like Arkansas is a 1-point favorite over Kansas at home or something. I got to take Kansas. I'm telling you, Michigan State win this game by double digits tonight. This is just a Duke. And we'll be talking about, Donnie, what's going on with Duke? What's going on with Duke? They just struggled with Stephen F. Austin, lost that game. Then they almost lost to Winthrop the other night. Yeah. Listen, I think Duke has some concerns right now.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. It's a 9:30 start, so it'll be prime time. You get everything out of the way tonight, whatever you're doing. You can settle in and watch it. And I do like the fact, Jeff, that it's not in Madison Square Garden. You're going to have a home court actual advantage here for Michigan State, and you give the Duke guys a little bit of adversity. It's a fun little thing they do each and every year to sort of get you through almost like that malaise that probably comes up over the next, week and a half, get through the holidays, and then they kick off their conference campaigns. It's nice. It's a good thing they do for TV, but I like the fact that, again, it's not some neutral court in Anchorage, Alaska. I like that.
Donnie, one thing we also talked about, remember, it seemed like in that 2 or 3 week stretch, Michigan State was playing a lot of basketball.
Yeah.
They've had almost a week off, had a little bit of time to recharge and rejuvenate, get through kind of, we obviously had some of the sad stuff that went on there with Winston, and you had some time to move on from that and think about things. And now it's this is what, Donnie, you want to have happen. You want a couple of days off, get prepared for a big game. And, the great thing here is, as you said, this is a home game for Michigan State, okay? And they have been dominant in that building for a long time. I like Michigan State tonight a lot.
Yeah.
Big man, do you ever middle lines? For instance, I recall a week ago you had Harvard, and it ended up 17. How much do you consider it for a minute. Yeah, I know Donnie does that occasionally.
I do it during the game. I don't like the middle,
Yeah.
like from the jump. But if I say, like, let's just say you have a -11 and you bet, I don't know, $100 on the game, and next you know you can mix that line with almost like something ridiculous, like a 10 or 12 point margin in the middle. I always put a little bit down on that.
I think something like that I would obviously do, but I'm not trying to compound a bad pick by losing 2 picks. So
well, no, it would only be the right. So you wouldn't be doing it the opposite way to get. I'm talking about like you have a big one.
Sure. In this, I get what you're saying, but in this case, let's say like they did. Let's say Harvard wins by 8, and instead of losing just 1 bet, I'm losing 2 bets.
No, why would you lose 2 though? Be the opposite way though.
Because because he's saying you're trying to middle it. So you're hoping they win by 13, 14, 15, or 16. That's what.
No, but you would have middling it, Jeff, would be the opposite way though. Like if you had Harvard at -11, then you took Brown at +8, 17. You can't lose both ways.
But I feel like he's middling. Trying to. I feel like he's saying you're kind of hoping to hit both.
No, you are hoping to hit both, but you can't lose both. Do you see what I'm saying? Like if you take both ways. Okay. What he's saying is he's saying you beat the line, Jeff, with Harvard -11 and went to 17. So, did you take the opposite way? So then you had a 11, 12, 13, 14, 15.
I was going to say, I didn't know if he meant like.
Yeah, no. I like it even more, even at 17.
Yeah, I'm not trying to compound it twice.
No.
I guess. But again, in that case, for me, that game was really, I thought it was going to be a blowout. I thought they're going by 20. So probably not in that case. I think NFL probably. Yeah, I mean, you're hoping. But again, I've run into certain spots where, I'm looking at profit just with the one game I bet. I kind of started, organically and just hoped to either win or lose. I think college basketball was such a long season. You have to obviously be willing to just accept, Donnie, some days you're going to, push, or you're gonna go 1-1, or you're gonna just lose one. I don't want to compound it with multiple bets and things like that. But yeah, in that case, it was such a huge CLV opportunity with so much value. Yeah, I guess I could have, but
like even like in like a mid game, let's just say you got Harvard -11 to start, and next thing you know, the in-game line is Harvard like -31. You take the other side and say, dude, I'm gonna play with 20.
But the thing is,
here.
Yeah, but the thing is, Donnie, and what makes it tough for people like you and I is I think on a personal basis that's easy, but it's not easy to – how do you send that out to people?
No, you don't send it out. That's just you yourself having fun. You're right. No, whoever's doing like in-game stuff, which nobody can get at any certain time, or, hey, guys, I just took – because I remember the one game I had the Miami FIU game, Jeff, flashes up at DraftKings. Like I really have service. It's 9.5. I'm like, that looks off. I take 9.5. And over the next 30 to 40 seconds, it drops down to like 6.5. Hey, that's it is a great number, but that's not when you can, hey, well, I got this and everybody, no, like in a flash of an instant, how can you do that on a live bet? You can't do that.
I will say
yourself.
I will say with like second halves though, Donnie, one thing that I think you can live by, if you have just any game, let's say a team that was picked to be an underdog is shooting really well, and they're doing it against like a big team. Let's say it's Harvard.
Yeah, they shoot 7 of 10 from 3 in the first half when they're used to shooting 28%. You like
that's generally not going to continue. So, but again, though, let's say you're doing a game like Michigan State Duke, where let's say Duke comes out and shoots really well in the first half. In the second half, I'm going to take Duke again because I think Duke, obviously they're in the zone tonight. They've had a good shooting night. They're going to be good, but it's very case to case. I mean, you've got to be able to see that kind of stuff. But people ask me all the time, Donnie, how do you pick this? How do you do that? It's a case to case thing, I mean, there's so many things that go into it. That's why some of these people that just the model says
the blind trend. Yes, the blind trend is the one that I always pick at, saying, well, I mean, in the last, it's 68 and 22 over the last whatever games, and I'm saying like, well, no.
Like, doesn't Ed Fang, Donnie, doesn't one of his models, doesn't it take into account injuries or something? It doesn't take into account that?
I know Ken Palm doesn't, but you're right. Like, or even like motivation, because that's always the analytic card that we rail on, Jeff. Analytics is a cold database that says, here's what you should do. But how about with 2 seconds left in the game? No, you probably shouldn't go for it on 4th and an inch. Do you know what I mean? Come on.
I hear you.
That's the problem. And by the way, the two-point analytics make no sense whatsoever, and I'll never believe them to be true. So leave that out of it.
They are analytics, though.
No, but like I like analytics, like we say, like 4th and 1, where like, dude, it's midfield. You should go for this. There's a lot of stuff that adds up, and I agree with. But the 2-point analytics, where you're down 14, and instead of like kicking an extra point to make it 13, you just want to make it 12, but you don't, and you stay at 14. I think stop with the madness, man.
Now, Donnie, before we go, I had one more thing I wanted to discuss. We talk about TV occasionally on this show, movies, all sorts of stuff.
Sure.
Today, we have an anniversary that we have to talk about.
Okay.
10 years ago today, Jersey Shore premiered on MTV. And let me be the first to tell you, as a person that's 30 years old, the person that's been going to the Jersey Shore my entire life, as have you,
Sure.
I'll continue to say this. I think Jersey Shore is one of the best shows ever put out. I mean that. No, seriously, it was a good show. Like from a reality TV show standpoint,
it was funny because it was a stage show, but it was actually very organic.
Terrific. You know? Yeah, it was really good. Yeah. It created characters that I think are culture icons. It really kind of goes to show you, Donnie, how good some people are at what they do, like these talent scouts and stuff. These people but you know what? I'm going to tell you a story. And why I feel like I could be in that talent business. When I was a kid, Donnie, I was 15. I went to teen night at Karma nightclub.
Yep.
And Snooki was there.
Yeah.
At the time, we knew her as Nicole. Okay. She was a skinny girl, a cheerleader type. And I remember telling a friend of mine, I said, there's something about that girl, man. Something about her. I remember seeing her
way before the show.
This was 10 years before the show. Yeah. And I remember seeing her, and I said, she was always like, she was really popular in the MySpace community, actually, Donnie, back then. Guidos loved MySpace. He loved it. Yeah. And I remember I said to a friend, I said, that girl's something about her, something about that girl. And now look at her. She's, so it's crazy how some of these, like those people that were casted for that show, Donnie.
Yeah.
Were like the 10 however many people there were, 7 people. They were the perfect people for that show.
Like, and who was that? Who was the girl that left early and just missed out on all the
Angelina. Well, she's back in the group now, though.
Yeah.
But it's crazy how, like, they casted those people. Like, they were perfect for that show. And it's still going on. They still have the show going on.
Yep. Vacations and all that stuff now.
Yeah. Situation goes to prison. They got these shows, the dating shows and stuff. What a life. Remember when Snooki went to Rutgers, Donnie, and they paid her a ton of money and people were all pissed off about it?
You pay state money to get her to speak. Shut up.
They're giving her $30,000 to do this.
Yeah, they're more the
Could you imagine, though?
Shit, yeah.
But could you imagine, though, if you have a kid that goes to Rutgers, you're paying them for tuition, and your kid comes home and goes, hey, what'd you do at school this week? Oh, well,
commencement. No, it was the commencement speech, wasn't it?
No. It was just
wasn't a commencement. I thought it was the commencement.
It was just like a night of like Snooki, like just like meeting her and stuff. But that was.
Are you sure about that? I'm thinking it was a commencement.
No, it wasn't a commencement.
Snooki's $32,000 payday for appearing at Rutgers. What was she doing here? Let's see.
It was just like a talk with her or something. It wasn't
crazy.
Like.
So she was just going to give like a lecture, and they're going to pay her for
like a lecture on God knows what.
Oh, but pay this other idiot nobody knows about $30,000. Come on, man.
Donnie, you know that I'm famous in Philadelphia radio history for my love.
Yes, I do know that. Snooki Jeff.
A lot of people don't know this.
No, they don't. And a lot of people don't know this either. Before I even knew Jeff, I knew the character, and then Jeff told me it was him, and I got such a good laugh out of it.
So let me set the stage. We got a couple of minutes, and we'll finish the show with this. This was probably early turn of it was like 2010, 2012, around when Jersey Shore was popular.
Yes.
There was there was Anthony Gargano and Glenn McNair were doing a segment about, actually, it was Howard Eskin actually was doing something on someone in sports you'd like to beat in the face. And before this all happened, I'd called into Anthony's show and basically professed my love for Snooki.
Yeah.
I loved her at the time. She's my girl. And I ended up really like falling in love with the character and who she was. It was just kind of a thing. And I called in radio and admitted that, and they fucking loved it. They thought it was hilarious.
It was.
So I became this like character of like, I'm the guy that loves Snooki, and I also have good sports takes on shit. So a couple months later, Howard Eskin's doing this segment on, people in sports you want to bash in the head with a fucking bat. And I would call like every couple of days. And I remember this guy called in and goes, yo, you know who I'd like to bash in the fucking head? or he didn't say fucking, but freaking
Yeah.
head. He goes, that dude that calls in that loves Snooki. What a scumbag. And
What a
it just
loser.
it just became this like running thing in
Mm-hmm.
Philadelphia. And I ended up like, I remember, I would go to like live events and stuff, and I met Anthony and Billy King at the time. Donnie was
GM.
doing stuff. And I remember
Mm-hmm.
Anthony threw the idea to Billy King of like, we got to get these two linked up. And that she was coming to Wing Bowl.
Yeah.
And we should make it happen and
Yep.
whatever. And to this day, I still have like lifelong friends that I developed from like, we go to tailgates, and I haven't called in for many years. I've kind of retired the character, but when I call in now, Donnie, they always say, "Yo, Snook." I said, "Yeah, what's up?" And like Rob, they all know me still as that name, but it's been a while. But Donnie knew me from that character.
Funny. Who didn't know Snooki Jeff? Because it was just so off like topic. I didn't know like this guy like Snooki. Like what the hell is going on? Yeah.
Glenn Macknight used to think I was a
he did. Yep. That's why it worked.
Me.
That's why it worked. Like, oh, here we go.
He used to think I was so repulsive because I love Snooki.
Yep,
like,
correct.
Like, what are you seeing here?
He's like me times 3 as my old man takes.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. He's like Bill O'Reilly.
Yes, correct.
All right. We're out of here. You all enjoy your day. Thank you for listening. Free pick. We'll go Duke. Or not Duke. Michigan State.
Oh, no. You got to go Duke now.
I'm confused. Michigan State -6.5. That'll be your little free pick here for the show. All right. We're out of here. Donnie, you have a good day, man.
Yep.
We will see all of you tomorrow. Wednesday. We'll be here for Hump Day. We'll start talking some NFL and other things as well. Maybe we'll get Ski Profit on or something, talk NBA or something. I don't know. We'll see. You all have a great day. Thank you for listening. We'll see you tomorrow.